Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're doing good. I'm doing great as always. Now, in my last video, I did a pretty comprehensive check on the new FujiFilm X-H2s's firmware update. The 3.00 firmware update was a huge improvement to the autofocus on the on this camera. So I did, that video did really good. Thank you everyone who left comments and who checked out the video. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. In those comments that I got on the video, a few people asked if I could explain or show the actual real hit rate I had with the camera. So I thought I'd take just a minute and do a real quick video and actually show you the images and show you the actual hit rate I got while we're out shooting. So, real quick, let's just jump into it right away. So during our test shooting with June down in Shibuya, I took 2,228 images all together during our test shooting. Quite a lot of images for just a couple of hours of shooting, but I was shooting on burst mode and stuff like that. So I ended up taking a lot. In the Shibuya crossing alone, I took several hundred photos there, so it's quite a lot. Overall, let's see, I took that many images, and including the shots from Shibuya that are out of focus, I had 168 images that I missed. Somehow the focus got missed out of those images. 168 altogether. So just doing some quick math, I think that gives me a 7.5% miss rate, or like a 93.5% hit rate. If you saw the video I uploaded before, test number 10 was us in the Shibuya crossing, and it just didn't work. I wouldn't really have shot in the situation like that anyway. So if I just eliminate all the images I took at Shibuya crossing for the number 10 test, then that would mean I had 1,560 images. Like I said, I took a lot of images in Shibuya to try to make everything work, but it just, a little frustrating. But anyways, I would have 1,560 images with 70 missed. And so that gives me like a 4.48% miss rate, or like a 95% hit rate, which is pretty good. And if I actually take a look at the images that were missed, then you'll see kind of why they were missed and why it's really not that bad of a hit rate for the kind of shooting we were doing. So just gonna bring up Photo Mechanic here. I already went through all the images that I took that day, and I gave them a red highlight if I felt they were kind of not the right focus. So if I was missing focus, if it was back focus, or maybe it just went somewhere else that I wanted it to go. So if you take a look through here at the images that I have, I can pretty much explain away almost everything that was misshot. So our first attempt at shooting test number 1 was with Gyakko, or like reverse lighting. And so you got this one image. Out of all the images I shot there, I think one of them was basically kind of like not really well focused. And I think this was just basically one of the first shots I took of the day. And the autofocus might have just gone to his shoulder really quick, and then we adjusted for it. So that's, might happen. You might get a shoulder, you might get a brim of the hat, or something like that with other cameras. It happens every once in a while. It's not a big deal. One image out of that one session is pretty good. Then the next images, now these are the ones where, this was test number 3, I'm pretty sure, where I had Jun dancing around. In this burst of images, I was actually not shooting with continuous burst mode. I was shooting single shot. What seemed to happen there was when I would take an image and Jun would be moving, the camera would then have to think for a little bit of a second before it refocused, so I might miss a couple shots here and there. So I realized what was happening with the camera, and I changed it to burst mode, or I changed the drive on it actually from, let me just get these properly, from still image to high speed burst mode of 20 frames per second. These ones that are out of focus here, these were on still image. So, it was not working as well as I wanted it to, because maybe the camera was having to think a little bit extra. Once we got to these images, now here, it's just, it's a brown blob in the photo. So there's no real head for the camera to go on. And as we go through, you can see that the ones that are missing, it's just, they're kind of like, I guess the camera was having a hard time seeing that it was a body. I'm not sure, but it's only a few images really out of these sequences that I was taking. So not too bad. His face is completely hidden. He's got a hood on, which we put the hood on and tied it up to make it a little bit easier for the camera. But I missed a few here, which isn't the end of the world. And then this one, it's a little bit off. I just had a fart where it went into the back. I'm not sure exactly why. Looking at it at this moment, that happens every once in a while, but we did it a couple times, and I changed it to continuous, and we got it to work. So it's not a real big, hard trick here either, so it wasn't that bad. And then as we go again, yeah, he's turned around to me. I would want it to be staying focused on his back at the very least. But I think it went to his foot here, which is the closest thing to the camera. So not that bad. It's pretty normal what would happen. So in this situation, you can see that all the ones that are missing here you can't see his face. He's a brown blob with a green background, so there's not much overly obvious contrast maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not a engineer at Fujifilm. I'm not sure exactly. But yeah, these are the ones that we got missed here. And then we go to this one and this one. These are the very first couple shots in the burst that I did when he went down to do his freeze. So the camera was actually probably focused on somewhere else before, like the focus point was at a different spot somewhere else. And then I went to take the image. The first two weren't in focus, and then the camera got him. And the next one he was in focus. So not a problem. I don't need these two images, so that's okay. Now on the street here, his back was to me as he was walking away. And the camera was searching for a face. It was searching for a face here. So I missed out a couple of these shots. Like I say in my video, if you are shooting with this, the X-H2s, and you're finding this with the wide tracking autofocus is kind of doing this once in a while in a busy spot, change the zone and put that zone in the middle or on the middle of the person's back. It'll fix all your issues really. So it's very, very easy to fix this. We have these. And then when he was coming towards me for a couple of the shots, it kind of farted a little bit here and there. But I'm taking I think we took like 20 shots, 30 shots of him coming towards me. Out of that, a couple that aren't quite in focus, I can live with that. It's not that huge of an issue. It would be nice if they were all in focus, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened here. Just being honest with you, it missed a couple shots here. So, and now again, he's dancing. So a butt shot, butt shot, butt shot. You know, maybe Fujifilm doesn't like butts. I don't know. When he was spinning around and his butt was facing the camera kind of got confused that he was still there and it lost focus and went to the back, I think. And the same thing happened when I did a sequence of shots, a big burst apparently. So you can see here, everything that is not really in focus is him coming around. And then after this, his face comes up real quick and he's back in focus for everything else during this little burst of shots. So, you know, I can't say I'm not a butt person, but I don't care that these are not in focus. It's not a big deal. The autofocus is so responsive that it went off from here, and maybe it went to his leg or something. I'm not sure, but I just felt like this one's in focus actually. Now that I take a better look at it. But yeah, I lost the focus a bit here. So not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It's a big burst. I think we shot it was like 144 images alone in this one burst, which is crazy because I was on, I think we put it up to 40 frames per second here. So you lose like out of 140 images, you didn't get 8 shots of his bum in focus. Oh darn, that's not really that bad of a thing. And then here with the poles, it's just that he's gone behind the pole here. So it jumped onto the pole. He came out, it didn't grab him quite as fast as I would have liked, so the focus is a little bit soft on those two, and that's it. So, you know, if we then take out butt shots out of the 70 images that I didn't get focused on, geez, I think like over half of them are his back or his butt or he's not looking at the camera. So you take those images out and it's really, you know, maybe like a 3% miss rate altogether, or even a 2%. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done that math yet. So yeah, not too bad, really. When you're out shooting, you're gonna miss a few shots anyways with the camera. Like I was shooting portraits with my Z9 yesterday, and I actually had it on zone with the facial recognition, and people with hats. I was getting the focus on the brim of the hat. Again, it's really quite frustrating. But just to say, you know, like no camera's perfect. You're gonna miss shots every once in a while with your autofocus system. It is a lot better than it used to be. It's a lot better than when I tested it before. I can deal with like a 95% hit rate, probably even better if we just don't even talk about the butt shots. Take those butt shots out of there and we're probably like a 98% hit rate or something like that. So cool. I'm really actually quite happy with the quality of the autofocus of this camera for the size and the price and everything you're getting in this camera. This update is amazing. It's a free update. If you already own the camera, your camera's just got that much better. If you don't own the camera yet, but you want to shoot sports, it's another reason to look at the camera a little bit better. If it's in your price range, if you like Fujifilm, I'm liking Fujifilm more and more these days. One great thing about Fujifilm especially, and I know like all camera makers or all makers of anything in the world have this philosophy of trying to make things better, but the word Kaizen in Japanese is just a continual improvement of things. Fujifilm really has that as their motto, you could say, as their working motto for what they're doing. Talking to the Fujifilm people, they have a lot of passion about photography, and they're photographers first, and they listen to photographers. A lot of the things that we checked in that update, they were all things that photographers were saying. So they went and fixed it. So that's amazing. I think they did a really good job, honestly. I've had a lot of people comment in my other video that they did the update and they really liked it. Much, much better in performance. Even with lenses that are like f1 and things like that, they're getting way bigger or way higher hit rates than they did before. So if you're on the fence about doing the update, do it. I haven't heard any negative, no negativity about doing the update like other camera makers seem to have every time there's an update. And everyone seems to be really enjoying it, and it's just going to make your camera that much better and make you that much better of a photographer with much more hit rate than you probably would have had in the past. So awesome. Hopefully this is helpful. This is the actual hit rate that I had. So yeah, again, if you have any questions or comments, hit me up anytime. I really like your guys' questions. The little discourse we get going in the comment section there is awesome. So cheers. Thanks a lot. Subscribe, like, and all that fun stuff. And I'll talk to you soon. Yay. Way to go, Fujifilm. Good job on the firmware 3.00. Thanks, guys. See you soon.